Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in. Look, I know exams are literally right around the corner, and you're probably putting in some seriously long hours. So today, we're going to sharpen up some of those tricky genetics concepts that always seem to pop up on test day and frankly cause way too much unnecessary stress. All right, let's just dive right in.
To kick things off, I really want to echo a sentiment straight from our source notes. I hope you are all studying hard. That honestly captures the exact spirit of our explainer today. We're cutting straight to the core of the material to clear up the confusion around two very specific, kind of tricky exceptions to Mendel's rules that basically trip students up every single year.
So here's our study map for today. First, beyond Mendel's rules. Then, pleiotropy, the solo actor, and polygenic inheritance, the orchestra. After that, I'll hand over your genetics magic key, and we'll wrap up with the final question. Go ahead and grab a pen and paper, because understanding this distinction is the absolute key to scoring full marks. Section 1. Beyond Mendel's Rules, Exploring Non-Mendelian Genetics. You know, Gregor Mendel laid an incredible foundation for inheritance. But when we actually look at how life works, well, real-world genetics gets beautifully complex. There's a really clear contrast we need to make here. Mendel focused heavily on intra-allelic inheritance. That is your classic one gene, two alleles scenario, like a pea plant being either distinctly tall or distinctly dwarf. Super simple, right? But with non-Mendelian genetics, we're dealing with inter-allelic inheritance. These are those complex gene interactions that Mendel didn't originally describe, where multiple elements interact in some pretty fascinating ways.
The crucial thing to remember is that the two non-Mendelian concepts we're tackling today are like two sides of the same coin, but they look totally different. And actually, the problem for most students is that these two ideas represent the exact opposite extremes of genetic interactions. But honestly, once you see them as mirror images of each other, the whole picture just clicks right into place.
Section 2. Pleiotropy, the solo actor. One gene taking center stage. Okay, let's hit our first major concept. Now, the word pleiotropy might sound a bit intimidating at first glance, but the actual mechanism inside the cell, it's surprisingly simple. Here is the formal definition. Pleiotropy happens when one single gene influences multiple, seemingly unrelated phenotypic traits. I want you to really lock in on that word multiple. Basically, a single gene takes on this massive workload to influence several completely different physical traits at the exact same time.
Think of it like a really versatile actor playing 5 different roles in one movie. Imagine them running around swapping costumes, doing different voices, playing the hero, the villain, and the sidekick, all in the exact same film. That right there, that's your pleiotropic gene pulling all the strings behind the scenes.
Let's ground this with a classic plant example from the text. In certain plants, one single gene locus simultaneously dictates the flower color, the seed coat color, and even the spots in the leaf axils. Just one single locus, creating multiple noticeable physical appearances. It is literally a solo actor carrying the entire show.
Section 3. Polygenic Inheritance. The orchestra. A symphony of genes. Right, let's flip the script completely and move to our second concept. This is the exact opposite scenario to the solo actor we just talked about.
Polygenic inheritance is when many different genes, meaning multiple loci, work together to control a single trait. So instead of one gene doing everything, you've got this massive team of genes collaborating for just one single outcome. To visualize this one, imagine a huge orchestra. You've got dozens of different instruments, right? Violins, cellos, flutes, drums, and they are all playing together to create one single unified melody. Every single gene is like an individual instrument, just contributing a little bit of influence to the final phenotype. And because it's such a massive team effort, we see this in traits like human skin color, human height, or even the weight of a piece of fruit. It creates a whole continuous range of expressions. It's not just strictly black or white, tall or short. It is this beautifully smooth spectrum of variety, all driven by dozens of genes harmonizing to produce that one trait. Section 4. Your genetics magic key. Acing the exam. Okay. Time to translate these fun analogies into the ultimate exam-saving strategy. This is exactly how you lock down those full marks. Here is the direct comparison you need. Pleiotropy is one gene pointing to many traits. Polygenic inheritance is many genes pointing to one trait. Just memorize that one-to-many versus many-to-one relationship. If you keep this locked in your mind, you are absolutely never going to mix these up again.
Let's actually look at how to build this into a perfect exam answer. When you're taking your test, I highly recommend drawing a quick diagram. Step 1. For pleiotropy, just draw one circle pointing to 3 different boxes. Step 2. For polygenic, draw 3 different circles all pointing to one single box. Sketching out this simple visual proves to the examiner that your concepts are crystal clear. It shows you completely get the flow. But why does all this matter outside the exam hall? Well, because these interactions create massive variety in the gene pool. Whether we're looking at homozygous individuals or heterozygous hybrids, these opposite mechanisms, our solo actors and our orchestras, are exactly what drive the beautiful, complex genetic diversity we see everywhere in nature. Section 5, the final question. Test your knowledge. First off, huge congratulations on mastering this classroom model. If you can wrap your head around these non-Mendelian concepts, I promise the rest of genetics is going to be so much easier to handle. Before we completely wrap up, the source material leaves us with this wonderfully practical piece of advice. Please remember to take good care of your nutrition and sleep cycle. A well-rested, well-fed brain retains information so much better. Seriously, don't neglect your health while you're chasing perfect grades. And that leads us to our final provocative question. Can you think of a human disease that is a perfect example of pleiotropy? I'll give you a tiny hint to get the wheels turning. Think about a genetic condition that alters the shape of red blood cells, which then causes a massive cascade of different symptoms all throughout the body. Do you know what disease that is? Keep exploring, keep studying hard, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.